now recording.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chaotic Podcast. We have a little bit of new people here tonight, so welcome.
Yeah, we have Knight here. It's his first time on the podcast. How's everything going, my man?
Everything's going good. I think I'm the only one here that doesn't have COVID.
Yeah, well, currently, I don't have it right now. I did have it, but that actually brings us to our topic of the day, since our boy Smacky Down is sick with the vid, and my grandparents also currently have COVID. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it a little bit today. How you feeling, Smackdown?
Well, after I don't even know what day it is now, but I'm starting to feel a little bit better. All I got is the chills right now, but still feel like shit. So
Does it feel like a common cold, or what's going on? Because I've never had it nor experienced it.
so at first it kind of felt like all I had was congestion. So I was just like, okay, might be just in the change of weather or whatever. And it was like that for 3 days. When I hit my fourth day, I woke up and had a fever. I was cold, chills, bumps all over my arm. And
So
then
it's
from there, yeah. So essentially, it turned from just a nose problem to like, oh yeah, you got the flu.
Well,
In a matter of 3 days.
That's kind of how mine started. Mine started as me thinking I had strep throat, because I usually get strep throat like once a year for some reason. So I went to the doctor. Me and Kayla both did, because we were both sick, and they tested Kayla for strep and sent me for COVID, because they're like, there's no point in testing you both if we can just test one. So they did tests for her, and then I had it pretty early on in COVID. So a lot of stuff was like still getting figured out, but they did her strep throat. It came back negative, and then I went to the hospital to get the thing, and this is when they were really shoving it up my nose. I swear that thing touched my eyeball.
It's giving your brain, man. What can I say?
Yeah, like it went up there far for me. I had like a red eye for like 2 days, and I started like not crying, but they made my eye tear up, and it like when it stopped tearing up.
So, like, did you get it before or after you got your vax?
Oh, way before. The vaccine wasn't even really like a thought yet.
Damn.
I had mine in like, I think October of 2020, maybe earlier than that, November-ish. But I was out of work for like a whole month, and I still have breathing troubles. They told me I might have to see like a sports therapist to get that figured out.
So did it affect your lungs a lot?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have an inhaler now that I have to use because it kind of gave me asthma in a way now.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen to our boy here, because it seems like a lot just to deal with it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it can be rough. Knight, did you get sick?
I have not. I got the vaccination though, and that's the only time I really felt like shit. But other than that, no, I have not gotten sick. Thank God.
Has anyone else been vaccinated? I know I am.
No, I haven't.
I'm guessing SmackDown's
Nope.
not.
Nope.
Are you starting to wish you would have?
No, because I mean, worst comes to worst, you can turn into a zombie, and I gotta handle business. So if you turn into a zombie, I gotta kill you. So
All right.
Damn.
All right.
No hesitation. That's not.
I'm at.
He just said
You
You gotta do what you gotta do, bro. I've been watching The Walking Dead. It's all right.
yeah.
All right. So our my first question that I have for you guys, as someone who worked the entire way through COVID, even from early stages, I was always an essential worker no matter where I was. Did any of you guys get laid off?
No.
No.
They put me
I,
in as an essential worker as well.
You guys are lucky.
What did you say, Knight?
I did. I got laid off like right at the beginning of it.
That's stupid.
Were you are you still at the same job, or did you have to find a new one?
No, so they actually screwed us. So I was in Colorado at the time, and I was making like $18 an hour just dropping chicken into a fryer. But the place where I worked was right next to a bunch of venues and a bunch of different stuff, and reliant on like heavy crowd population. So they shut us down in March, like right before they shut Denver down. They just shut us all down, and they let us all go. Didn't they gave me $500 as like severance pay, I guess you could say. But other than that, they just screwed us. They didn't say one word after that. They didn't do anything like that. So
Now, the place you were working, did they end up going out of business from shutting down, or are they still?
so they owned two restaurants. So they were opening up one. Uh, they own two different types of businesses or two different types of restaurants in the same area. So one ended up not reopening, and then they were already in the process of moving their location. So they did open that, and it's whatever. I won't support them anymore. But they kind of went out of business.
So did they give you guys like any kind of like severance package or like
Well,
anything to
that's why I
help?
said that 500.
It was like $500, but I could have made like if I had stayed on working with them, I would have made like $3,500 like a week or every 2 weeks.
So how long did you end up going without a job? Because I know a lot of places were closed. So if you didn't know what you were doing, I know a lot of warehouses and stuff like that stayed open, but I know a lot of restaurants closed and stuff like that.
So I was in the restaurant business for 14 years. So that's all I knew. Like that's all that people were hiring were experienced workers. Um, so I didn't get a job until probably 3 months after that, and I had to move to a different state and take a considerable pay cut. So
Now, did you collect unemployment in that time? Like, did they offer it?
I didn't work enough that year to offer it. I had actually just gotten sober, so
Gotcha.
uh, I had I hadn't worked at all for about 8 and 9 months of the previous year and didn't have enough to collect unemployment with.
Yeah,
Well, if anything, congrats on becoming sober. I know that shit's kind of hard to come over. So
definitely.
Oh, thank you, but yeah, it sucked. It did suck, but
Mm. So,
it is what it is.
yeah. I know it wasn't like I didn't get laid off, but I knew where I was working was about to get so strict, and I was already looking for a new job as it was. I was a security supervisor for Amazon at the time, and then it actually got me into a brand new field, which is slightly in the medical field. So, but it got me to where I could only work one on one with a person. So, like, I started working with individuals with autism in that time, which is probably the easiest job that I could have had, and I still do that now for a different company, but it was definitely the easiest, and I was honestly surprised I got sick. Because I barely went out when it all started and everything like that, but someone must have dragged it to my work at some point.
So, like I said, I've never been sick. Um, I ended up kind of as like my sober journey. I ended up hitchhiking from Montana to South Dakota and taking a bus to Tampa, but I don't know. I never got sick, so that's what I
Damn.
did when I got laid off.
Because I know there's a possibility that you might have gotten sick at some point because a lot of people that I've met were asymptomatic, like they just don't show symptoms at all.
well, since you bring that up, it's kind of funny. I get seasonal allergies, so like with the seasons changing and shit like that, I have different reactions with it. And with the summer coming in, my nose gets really dry and my throat starts to hurt and swell up and everything else like that. So there was a time where I was legitimately scared that I had it. Went to the doctor and got the test done, and they're like, "No, you don't got it. Something else must be up." So it was a big relief for me, at least.
See, the funny part is, Kayla got super sick in February, and we had to go to the hospital. This was like right before we went on vacation for Valentine's Day. So we went to Philly and everything like that in Lancaster. But this was before like COVID was apparently in the States at that time of what they thought. But she got super sick, so we went to the hospital and everything. They tested her for everything under the sun, and she just kept testing negative. And then the thing that they marked her with is exactly what they were calling COVID for the longest time when it first started. So they marked her with just having an upper respiratory infection.
Oh, geez. See, that's the problem with all of this shit is like when doctors didn't really know what was going on, they kind of just assumed shit, and it was hard to deal with, honestly.
Well, that's like my job only covered me to be out like a week with COVID, and then after that, they made me use all my PTO.
Oh, damn. So you really didn't stand a chance when it came to that kind of stuff, huh?
No, that's not why. One of the reasons I ended up leaving my last job because I got so burnt out and I couldn't even take a day off because I had no time. But
So that's one good thing about the job I work now is I don't know if they're gonna bring it back since this Delta variant's picking up, but they gave us they give people 10 days off paid, and then they allowed people to stay out. Like if they got sick, it was 10 days automatically. It didn't matter if you had COVID or not. It wasn't paid all the time, but it was definitely they weren't penalizing anybody or taking PTO or personal time or anything like that. So part of the reason why I work where I work now.
yeah, I mean, it was definitely rough. All right, on to the next question. So when COVID and stuff first hit, we had a lot of closings and stuff like that, and like the mandatory quarantine. How did like quarantine hit you guys?
I mean, for being, for going to work and playing games is kind of how I spend a lot of my days and shit like that. It really hasn't changed except for like those first couple months, because even though that is exactly how I would spend my days, it would eventually get boring and it just made things not fun to do in the house anymore. So it kind of just, the days felt like they were dragging, the nights seemed like they were short.
Yeah, it seemed like everything blended together, and there was never a time more in my life that I went to Walmart. Like, I went to Walmart was like the only thing open, so like I went to Walmart probably constantly like 4 times a week, and I've never went that many times.
It was just to get out, like, honestly,
Yeah,
because like even going to the park, people were so like pushy about not going anywhere.
yeah. Uh,
So like going to those kinds of places was like a big stress reliever from getting out of the house. And as much as I love you guys and everything else, I'm pretty sure none of you want me to stay inside the house with you guys 24/7.
I definitely bought a lot of stupid shit when COVID hit. I wasn't one that like started collecting toilet paper and freaking out. I was just buying like random shit that I would never buy. I'm pretty sure at some point I bought Play-Doh. Well, what?
I DoorDashed a lot, so I was like it was the best time to DoorDash and make money.
Oh, your wallet must have loved you.
I was making $200 like within 8 hours.
Oh, you were a driver.
Yeah.
I thought you were a
No, yeah, so my wallet did love me. My bank account definitely loved me, but like I was making $200 a day, like in 8 hours.
Jesus.
And then tips on top of that because I didn't count the tips, but like everybody's like, I'll leave tips at the door. Like I had one person pay me $50. Like they're like, thanks for doing this. Like I know you're risking your life. Like stupid stuff like that. Like sure, maybe, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
I'm
definitely risking.
I'm 29 years old. Like the likelihood of me dying is, and I'm in pretty good health. So the likelihood of me dying is not a risk to me.
It, and not that I'm not saying this about anybody or anything like that, but y'all remember that time when it was called the Boomer Doomer?
Yep,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what it was too.
So, Knight, how did you guys handle quarantine?
I didn't. I just because I was never forced to actually quarantine. They suggested to stay inside, so like I said, I door dashed.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha.
I found some way to be out. Because at the time I didn't have a computer, didn't have PS4. Had just sold all my game systems, and like right after I sold all my game systems, COVID hit. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, that would suck.
So you were kind of set at the beginning of all this.
Well, pretty much. I was like, I'm going to like. My ex was getting on to me about like playing a lot, and not being there for the kids and not like spending too much money on it. And I was like, okay, I'll sell them all. I traded my Xbox for a computer. I had an Xbox One and a PS4. It was overkill. Like I was just that type of guy. And had sold everything, got a computer, and then COVID hit, and it was like, oh, now you're not making any money. I was like, yeah, but I could be gaming right now. Thanks.
Um, SmackDown.
Um, they told I don't know. I don't really remember that much because I was quote unquote an essential worker when I was at the car wash, so I still had to go to work. Staying outside in the hot sun,
Damn, I'm
in
kind
the
of surprised that
cold.
a car wash was essential.
They basically try to make it to where it was essential because we wash cars, we sanitize vehicles. So that way they basically made it stay open instead of closing.
Gotcha.
They
How
basically tried to bypass the bypass.
how did how like being stuck inside and stuff like that, if you were, or just in general, how did it affect you guys' relationships with other people?
Um,
Like my friend group wise, I feel like we all still hung out and stuff like that. But relationship
Yeah,
wise,
we did.
especially when me and Kayla got sick, she was making me mad about the smallest things, like putting something in the wrong spot. Like I was like blowing up about it because like I was so tired of being in the house with just her, which sucks to say, but it was a lot.
I mean, if I'm being honest here, I do believe that my relationship has grown with a lot of people because of it. Like before, I never really had a Discord or anything else like that, so I wasn't really doing too much with my laptop, just using it to like watch TV on the go or some shit like that. But being brought into here and everything else and being able to talk to everybody is, it gives me something to look forward to each day, and it's meeting new people and talking to them. So,
Yeah, no, I definitely get that.
and where I am right now, I basically live by myself. Nobody's in here but me, so I don't really yell at people for putting shit somewhere unless I do it and forget about it.
I don't know what the question was.
Um, it was like, how did COVID affect your like relationships with other people and your family, like anyone?
I mean, COVID brought me and Whitney together because of the whole quarantine thing. So Facebook dating just became a thing. Started that, met Whitney, and it's been going good ever since. Family wise, I mean, being stuck together, like, especially during like the first lockdown, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Um, and then I wouldn't say that COVID brought us together because I think even if COVID didn't happen, you still would have wanted to make a gaming group. So I think that's just my take on it.
Yeah,
I
no, go ahead, Knight.
um I think that like it's affected me on like another level than that. Like so I'm really conservative and so are all my friends, and but I was also like one of my only friends to like really care about wearing a mask, and like I'm the only friend out of all my friends to be vaccinated, and it's kind of torn rips and tears into my friendships with people.
Yeah, everyone that made like COVID a big political thing was like, that was like the first mistake, because now you got a bunch of people that don't want to get vaccinated and stuff like that. And a lot of the people that are like not wanting to get vaccinated and stuff like that, that are conservative and stuff like that, are the same people that go and get their influenza shot every year.
Well, it's funny because like okay, so my mom and dad agreed with me. My mom's been in the health field for years, and so she and my dad got vaccinated, and I got vaccinated. We all got vaccinated around the same time. They caught COVID while I was getting vaccinated, and then got vaccinated shortly after. And then my friend found out, my roommate, and this kind of put a tear in our friendship for a bit. He like pretty much said I was a communist because I got it done.
I'm sorry, what?
He called me a communist.
That's
A communist, 'cause
fucking
you gotta-
nuts.
We need things, guys.
So because you got a shot, you're a communist?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Because you chose what you thought was best for you. Other people don't like. That's
Well,
I don't understand.
because I made a constitutional decision. And
I mean, and that was your decision. Like, people here, we don't care if you're vaccinated or not. Like, I know I'm not vaccinated. I know Quentin is, but we don't argue like, oh, you should get a shot. You shouldn't get the shot. Like, that's your choice, and we leave it at that.
No, I don't think I've argued with anyone about if they should get the shot or not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't actually personally believe you should get the shot, but there's other people that think you should.
The only person that I told to get the shot is sick right now with COVID. So, I mean, maybe they should have listened to me. So,
I mean,
the
he
other
is you. So
I'm not
stop
talking
it.
about. I'm not talking about SmackDown. I'm talking about my Nan and Pat.
Oh, do they both have it?
Yeah, they both have it right now, and I told them like 3 months ago to get vaccinated.
I mean, your grandfather's pretty much like you, stubborn as shit. So
the FDA is about to approve the vaccine here shortly. But that was my favorite argument for people that said, "Oh, well, the FDA hasn't approved it."
Yeah,
And these are the same people that don't want the government telling them what to do, and the Federal Department of Agriculture, like,
see,
or Federal Drug Administration. Sorry, like it's.
yeah, I didn't even care that I was like technically like a test run with the shot thing because I was just tired of
missing work.
Well, that and there was constantly outbreaks at my one job where I worked with the kids. Like there was like 4 outbreaks and I was only there for like 3 months. So I was like, I might as well just get it. I could care less. I meant it's either I get the shot and I die or I just die down the road from my symptoms not getting any better.
You just die because your heart gives out because you got the shot.
Like either way I'm gonna die, so fuck it, I'll be a test.
So,
My thing was my argument for that was, if you smoke medical marijuana, you already do something that's not FDA approved.
Right.
If you take any type of any type of other vitamin other than like what's already been put on a shelf, not FDA approved. So
See,
that was
for
my
me,
against it.
it's one of those things where like, you know how they always say like history repeats itself and shit like that.
Yeah, to be fair,
So-
we do get
Yeah.
a new plague every 100 years, so
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about, because when fucking the flu shot came out, whatever, it did the same exact thing because it wasn't tested properly, and it took like, what was it, like 5, 10, maybe 50 years for it
Bro,
to actually be useful.
see, but the
Do
thing,
not-
people, like, it still is getting, like, test trialed. Like, I think, in my own brain, I'm like, wow, I was probably one of the first 100 people to get tested done. But in reality, I was probably, like, the millionth, because how many people got it tested when they were, like, making it? So,
I don't know. I just don't want to be dealing with this COVID bullshit for like the next 50 years.
I also low-key only got my vaccination so people would get off my ass about wearing a mask. 'Cause
My
it's-
Yeah,
job-
but even then they still had the mask mandate.
well, I don't mind. I didn't mind wearing a mask, but my fat ass is always fogging up my glasses, so that's the main reason. So, like, I'm trying to walk and not run into shit. So,
After the mask mandate was lifted and I'd go out into public, I'd be like, am I forgetting something? Like, I'd feel like something was missing. And it was my mask that was missing, and it just felt weird because we had to wear masks that whole time.
can we just talk about how annoying it was to constantly have to turn around when you were on the way somewhere if you forgot your mask?
It was.
That shit, I'd get like 20 minutes down the road and be like, I don't have a fucking mask in here, and they're not gonna let me in.
So I moved to Florida, so I'm in Tennessee now, but I moved to Florida briefly,
Yeah.
and I ended up moving to a town where if you lived in the county side of things, you didn't have to wear a mask. In fact, like none of the people wore masks. Nobody like really social distanced. It was kind of cool. Like, and it was a bunch of old people too. Like,
They've
I got
seen shit.
What's that?
They've seen some shit, so they know how to handle this kind of thing.
No, they were like, well, if we're gonna die, at least this thing can take us out.
Yeah, I
Oh
feel
no,
like
you know what it
once you
was for
get to
me?
a certain age, you don't give a fuck if you live or die anymore.
Bro, those are the people I love. Like,
Yeah, once you hit 23, you know.
Yeah, right.
Man.
For everybody.
For me, it was once I hit 21. Shit.
Yeah.
I said bottoms up the first night and said if I drink myself to death, it'll be okay.
Quentin, I have an off-topic thing real quick.
What?
So, me and Jacob played Call of Duty all day yesterday. Bro, we played Warzone and played 2 matches where there weren't any hackers. Bro, we played Cold War and played 3 matches without any hackers. And at first I was like, man, am I really losing my touch? Is this what Quentin was thinking about it? And then we went to Core and I'm watching the kill cams and I'm like, oh, they're cheating. I'm just getting cheated on. And I was like, I feel so bad right now. Like, I had to grind to finish my battle pass and it was just awful because it took all day because I just cheating everywhere.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's a dying thing.
Speaking of gaming, well, not yes and no, but because I know this is how a lot of us are going to answer. But how did you guys spend your time in quarantine, or on lockdown?
Lockdown, I did stuff around the house that I needed to catch up on, and I did game, but I had some stuff I needed to catch up on.
I feel like
I bought a gaming desktop.
yeah, I bought a PC and everything too. So with COVID, what did I all do? I really got back into gaming because I didn't really care all the PS4 era. I really didn't give a shit about gaming with people. I kind of just stuck to myself that whole time, and then I really got into UFC because it was the only sport that was still on. And yeah, that's about it. And work. But I didn't do too much. And go to Walmart 705 times a week.
I'd go to Speedway at least. I was working during lockdown. Actually, I was working at Speedway, and that was essential because of gas. So, like, as soon as lockdown happened, I'd maybe have 20 customers a day.
How did you guys feel about the toilet paper shortages?
Bro, I hear that's coming back.
I thought that shit was stupid. I was like, why?
Bro,
I almost
Of all
got,
things to steal, bro, just cut up a shirt and wipe your ass.
I almost got yelled at my job because a customer was in there as I was like putting shit up on the shelves, and ironically enough, it was toilet paper. She goes, "Oh, I got to buy 2 or 3 of these because I got like 2 bathrooms in my house." I said, "Oh, you're one of those." I said, I'm just gonna let you know now." I also knew the person too, but the person behind her didn't know me. So when I say this, don't get like flustered about it. But I said, "Oh, if you keep that up, I'm just gonna run into your house and steal your shit." I'm not gonna go to the bathroom and not be able to wipe because all of you are bugging.
Bro, it was crazy because, like I said, I worked in a home that was one-on-one, and people were stealing the toilet paper from my work. Like, there's only 3 of us that work here. We know who's stealing it. I remember there was a time where I did wait until I went to work for like a week and a half to take a shit.
it was bad because, like, you ran out of toilet paper. You go to the store and there was none there, and it's like, do I really have to be one of these people that sit at Walmart waiting for toilet paper?
I bought baby wipes.
Yeah, but those clog up the system drains, and then
I did not give a single fuck. I did not give a single fuck.
I'll deal with that when the time comes.
Yeah, that's my dad's house. He'll have to pay the septic. It is not my problem. They said flushable. In my defense,
They said flush them, so I had to flush them.
I know Knight said
would
that
you
he
rather
spent
do?
time door dashing. That I should have done that, but I had no motivation.
And the great thing was most businesses had toilet paper.
It's not bad to DoorDash. It's just a lot of miles on your car.
Oh, I didn't care about that.
The car I had at the time was a no title car, so I was like, okay, cool. Well, if I'm gonna get caught, like driving without a car with a title, because I couldn't register it or insure it, so I was like, fuck it. Like, I'll make money doing it. And
Yeah, can we hold on? Can we talk about how much shit the cops let go when COVID was a thing?
oh yeah,
They did not give a fuck. Todd's car was not inspected for like 7 months. The registration was out by 4, and a cop just pulled up next to him at like a stoplight, and he was just like, "Your registration's out," like out the window. And Todd's like, "Yeah." He's like, oh, okay. He just drove. I was like, you lucky motherfucker,
like, yep.
bro. You about
My
you just-
favorite part were the people going into stores doing like committing robberies without a mask.
Like that's the time you rob people is when everybody's wearing a mask.
Oh,
Like-
speaking of robbery that happened.
Which
I
one?
don't know. Yeah, which one?
The one in the fucking bank. I forget. I think it was in Newville.
Mm.
Okay.
I was just bringing it up because that's what we were talking about.
You were
Word?
something
I
I
about
thought we
it.
were
I know
going
y'all
somewhere
weren't
with this.
expecting anything.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here waiting for an explanation, and you know that
People
robbery.
are creating like a mob for him though. If you guys
Yeah,
want to
everybody
talk
caught
about
COVID.
Rob,
They weren't wearing masks.
Or-
bro?
They tested COVID positive.
Could you imagine? Oh, let's also talk. How many people got left out of jail because of COVID? Them
Oh
lucky.
my
6ix9ine
God.
for one.
I think I had a warrant that's no longer there because of COVID.
I think maybe I do too.
Well,
What?
okay, so before I left,
This is gonna be the everybody turn themselves in podcast.
Okay,
well,
really
that's
hope
why I
Craig-
go by night.
Craig, stop
guys.
recording real quick.
That's why I instantly went quiet. I ain't talking.
Got your ass.
Craig,
I don't
turn
know,
yourself off.
They can't extradite me anyways. I live west of the Mississippi now, but I was in Montana and I tried to kill myself right before I got like clean, and
God.
so yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
That escalated quickly.
Well,
We were
okay,
already talking
so
about this.
precursor. My ex pretty much called me up. So I had gotten clean, and I had been clean for about 7 months, and my ex calls me up and she's like, "You moved back to Montana. I know you moved back to Montana," because she had like a track marker in my social. So anytime I would get a job, she would know, and she would know where I was at.
No, fuck that.
It was fucking bad. So I was like,
What
yeah,
did
I
he
moved back to
say?
Montana.
What? On your social, Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
yeah, she's the mother of my kids, so like she was trying to like get me like find out where I was to quote unquote say I abandoned them, which I didn't. It's a long, complicated story, but
But she really was just trying to get child support, and she was like, "Yo, that's where he is."
like no, well she had like DCF or whatever, like have like a tracker on my thing. I don't know how she was able to do it because I'm not on their birth certificates, so it's technically illegal. Anyways, she's like, "I see you're back in Montana." I was like, "Yeah, I'm working. I finally got a job." She's like, "I bet you're getting high again. I bet you're getting high again. You know what? You're never allowed to see the kids again." Like, and that just sent me spiraling. Like, I had been struggling with it because like the first 6 months to 7 months of being like clean are pivotal to like your like staying clean.
You're telling me, boss.
And
Still drinking bud.
Yeah.
well, but like I was an intravenous drug user, so like it was even worse. Like I'd rather like try and quit alcohol, but
Quentin,
what's that?
I said Quentin tried to quit the alcohol. It was calling his name.
Where are you guys from? I sense like mid up east and then some north and up east in your accents, but I don't know.
Pennsylvania.
How do you know that? Fucking wizard.
Well, I'm from Boston. So I can park my car.
Boston.
You're going
I
to
can
park my
park my
car.
car. Yeah, I can park a car. if you
The
want me to.
fuck out of here.
Oh, that's fucking wicked awesome, huh?
Fucking wicked awesome.
Take the fucking screen door off.
Take a
All
full
you guys
ride.
are up north.
But I'm just gonna
from
say
the
this.
south.
I can understand why you went the route you did, but if anybody tries to keep my kids away from me, legal or not, these hands are ready to eat for everyone. I'll fight every fucking buddy for my kids.
Well, here's the thing. I can't kill. Like, what am I supposed to do? Go to Florida and kill their mom? Like, come on now.
It's like kill them.
Like,
Damn,
I mean, there's a lot of alligators down there.
Yeah.
David.
So now it's about money because like she won't let me talk to them or see them or do anything. So I'm like at this point I'm like just saving up money. I'm trying to get
Take
myself
her ass to
like
court.
but it's out of state, so I have to like save up a shit ton of money to do it.
Just
Right.
tell to go down there and kidnap the kids and bring them to you.
Oh, wait
I've
a
thought
minute.
That'll
about
get
it.
them in even more trouble.
Wait a minute.
Trust me, I've thought about it.
They can't trace it. You're good.
We all get an Amber Alert.
Damn, that kind of
She-
sucks.
So
David's truck is on the Amber Alert. It's like, oh shit, he actually did it.
That's another thing too. I guess like relationships with her was like she's like, you're not trying hard enough. I've been a cook for 14 years. Nobody in the pandemic's hiring somebody who's been a cook for 14 years. Like,
Dick.
Cue Walter White.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
I thought about it.
Oh my God.
Breaking Bad
seriously,
with
dude.
IRL.
All right, you got the supplies and you got the demand. Let's
All
get
right.
it.
Now all we
Well,
gotta do is move to New Mexico.
Yeah,
I definitely had the addiction, so
Speaking
But
of,
for real though, you should be
Well-
proud of yourself for doing that, man.
we'll help you get your kids back.
what are you
speaking
gonna
of,
drive down to Florida? Want to go spring break, guys?
Let's go.
Early?
yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple vans I could use.
Wait a minute.
Are-
Hold up. Everybody, hold the fuck up.
We're all going down to Florida. Let's go. Wait till October when I'm hired on and I can take 6 days personal time.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Us road trip.
Back to COVID.
Chaos.
I'm not going to
Chaos. Kidnapping.
Did you guys get like massively depressed when it hit?
I mean, kinda, but not really.
I wouldn't say initially, more like now so, because shit still is just kind of like,
It's dragging on.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
now that there's like another spike again, I'm like, bro, like I'm just tired of it at this point. I just feel worn out, and like it's never going away, and you're gonna get it again some point down the road, even with the vaccine, because the vaccines only last like a year. So I know I'm gonna get it again, and that shit sucked.
Listen, I've been blessed and I have not got it yet. Knock on wood. Like,
Which was crazy because all of you guys were around me because I got tested and I felt completely fine like 2 days after I got tested. Like everything cleared up. And so I was like, all right, yeah, you guys can come over for the fights. And like all of you guys came over to my house for the fights and none of you got sick except for Marcus.
I don't even remember. No, that I wasn't there because you and Marcus were like hating each other whenever I came to the fights.
Yeah, maybe not, but like Todd, Corinne, the kids were there. Marcus, Anthony,
been-
like, and there was only 3 of us that got sick. It was me, Kayla, and Marcus.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It might have been after because I didn't get sick.
That's just crazy.
Hopefully, I don't get sick. I can't get sick.
Yeah.
I've got a side announcement, guys. My new computer chair comes the 13th.
I'm getting a new mic next week, so I won't have to mute myself on my when I'm recording every time after I talk because it has this like low key like sound to it.
one more time for the people back home.
That's funny.
Thank you. You don't make it any better, but I wouldn't say it was depression. I can't say that because I don't want to be like one of those ones who doesn't have it but says they has it. It was more of just kind of like,
So you don't want to be an 11-year-old girl.
yeah, something like that. But it was kind of like one of those you get in your feels moments, but it's like elongated.
I felt like
He
I
listened to a
was.
lot of Hollywood Undead. He said the bottom of the bottle is his only friend.
Well, unfortunately, bottoms of my bottles don't last very long. I end up throwing those in the trash.
I felt like everything was just in a constant loop.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, the days kind of like meshed together.
Yeah, if I didn't work during COVID, I would like years could have went by and I would not have paid any attention.
He could have been dead.
Yeah. Like
I turned off the news.
I mean,
I never watched the
didn't watch
news
anything.
anyways.
Yeah, right.
Well, I never did either until COVID started happening, and I was like, okay, well maybe I should watch it. It's
Like I couldn't even tell you what the numbers are now because I just don't pay any attention to it.
But my problem was it was depressing watching the news, and then it was depressing. Like we're social animals, and I think that regardless of whether or not you're classified with depression or not, there is some level of depression that goes through you when you have to be antisocial or just around one person.
Yeah.
Woof. I'm sorry. I know this isn't a joking matter, but kind of heavy. I feel like we needed a lighthearted thing.
SmackDown. What do you got, bro?
If anything, the best music came out during quarantine. So I can't really say I was depressed. If anything, I was more hyped up for every week for a new song to come out by a group or a band that I listen to.
I don't know. I don't even remember really any games being out. Like, cause all the games got delayed. Like the only
I was
one.
pushing-
Game wise, they got delayed, but music wise, people were throwing out shit. I was like, yes.
Well,
McDonald's came with some
the
awesome
only
songs.
game I remember coming out, because I was living at my apartment, and the only game I can remember coming out in that time is shout out to it every episode, The Last of Us 2.
It had
Oh
to be
my
brought up.
God.
I knew
That
it
was it was the only game that came out in that time that I bought. Like, I bought a bunch of older games, but I didn't buy any new games in that time.
I got that bitch for free.
And then it took you until like we started talking again
took
for
me
you to
a
complete
whole-
it.
It took me a whole year to beat the game.
I mean, I don't think anybody here besides me has really played it, but Ghost of Tsushima.
I want to get that now, but at the time I was like, I don't feel like this is a game for me, and I'm not gonna waste
Wait
the
till
little
the PS5
paychecks.
upgrade to come out.
Bro, I really have the background from a PS4 as Ghost of Tsushima because it was free and I haven't played the game at all.
Now, Quentin's might rethink, of me staying with him after I say this and all, but I truly believe it should have won over The Last of Us 2.
It should have.
It was a great
I
game.
thought it came out too late. I thought that was the problem.
But now...
I mean-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, Cyberpunk came out too early.
Cyberpunk sucks.
Cyberpunk was a bullshit game.
I
just
try.
played
I
it
just.
for Keanu
I
Reeves.
recently tried to get into it, and I just can't. I can't fucking do it. Which I don't understand because I love the Fallout games and shit like that. So
I literally only played it for fucking Keanu Reeves.
Bro,
I
this story,
wonder.
some good TV shows came out during COVID though.
they did. You are not wrong.
You like the new and
Outer
upcoming
Banks.
show?
Outer Banks. The newer Lucifer season.
I
You mean like the
didn't-
newest show that's coming out? The Last of Us? Question mark?
See, I'm talking about COVID like it's in the past tense. I keep forgetting that it's like still an ongoing thing, but I'm talking about like major COVID.
Yeah, I know.
Like we were spoiled, except for a lot of them got delayed. So like Riverdale came out with like a half of a season and then stopped, and I was like, well, now what the fuck am I gonna do? And then what else? The Walking Dead got delayed. Valhalla recently came out, like what, 5 months ago?
6, something like. It's newer.
It's
But
new.
I-
It's new enough that they had a PS5 version.
But it came out in 2020, I guess. Like near the tail end, it came out in November, I think.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Well, we're about at that mark. Does anybody have anything else they want to add on?
Well, with all of this new shit coming out with it and whatnot, everybody, I hope you stay safe, and I hope, everybody in your family, Quentin, gets better, and I hope you get better as well as Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, quit kissing random people.
Yeah, Rob.
Oh fuck, Rob's not even in
Man,
here.
you haven't
but,
kissed me yet. I'm kind of jealous.
But
Quitting their- I'm getting wall hacked on, bro.
all right, guys. That's all we have for today. Check this out. It should be up by Thursday. I'm gonna put for 9:30 a.m. So just be on the lookout for that. Hope everybody enjoyed, and have a
Appreciate
good
everybody
night
listening.
or day, whatever. Whenever you listen to this, see ya. Peace out.
Yeah.
Peace the fuck
Yeah.
out.
Peace out,
Bye.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye.
Hasta
Bye.
la vista, sayonara.
Hasta la vista, baby.